What's going on, everybody? We're gonna start this video out right with a nice ice cold Yuengling. Oh, it's my favorite beer. Alright guys, tonight we're gonna talk about fishing tackle, and I would like to kind of just go over everything and show you all of my burleys. Yes, I said burleys. Trevor Bishop, you have won the contest. All my followers will now be referred to as burleys, and you'll be getting the first official Are You Burly Enough t-shirt. So stand by for that, check your mail, and that should be coming to you here in the next couple weeks. But anyway guys, we're going to start from the top all the way down to the bottom of my tackle box, even the loose weights and hooks. So on my tackle box, I've got two compartments up at the top. One of the most important things that I bring with me everywhere is a nice pair of nail clippers. It's great for not only cleaning up your fingernails if you got, fish gunk or shrimp or anything like that underneath your nails, but it's also good for cutting the line. On the other side, I have a lighter for the same purposes. Whichever side I reach to, at least I have something that can take care of the line. Alright, let's go ahead and pop her open. And we're gonna run through some of the lures that I use. My absolute favorite type of lure, my absolute favorite type of fishing is topwater. So this here is called the Whopper Plopper. It is in the monkey butt color. It's by a company called River to Sea. And this back joint here will spin and turn on top of the water, and it makes a plop. This is in the 90 series. I also have one other in a 75 series, and I'll show you that when we get to them. So that's the Whopper Plopper, and after I go through all my lures, I'll take a couple of these and go over to the pool and show you exactly what their action is when they're going through the water. So that's the monkey butt there. This is the 75 series Ghost Shad. And then I've got a 90 series Bone. This is good for kind of the darker water and maybe the sunset. And then the one I've probably caught the most fish on is the 90 series Loon. This is all black. It's got a little bit of white coloring on it. And I've used this as soon as the sun went down, and I've caught 2, 3, 4, 5 pound bass. I even caught a catfish on this when I was fishing out in California. But those are my Whopper Ploppers. And then we're gonna go in to this one right here. This is a walking jitterbait, and this is in a black and orange belly. I almost got my finger there. Using this mainly during the fall season and darker waters. They like the gold or the orange because it kind of flashes whenever the sun hits it. And for some reason, those dark colors work really good in the fall. So that's the jitterbait. And we're gonna move on. We're still staying on top water. And then we're gonna take this one here. And this is an old Poppin' Plug. This is Poppin' Image Junior. Pretty standard, kind of all year round colors. It's got the black on the top. It's got that yellow bottom. Kind of transitions down from dark green to that yellow. Got a nice tail on the end there. And whenever you're pulling this one through the water, whenever you pop it, it shoots a big cone of water out in front of it. And it's imitating a injured bait fish. So those are my favorite topwater lures that I carry in my tackle box each and every day. Next thing we're gonna go for is our spinner baits. These are great. They can run anywhere between right on top of the water or anywhere down below. I can usually get this thing down about 6-7 feet It all depends on where you hold your rod. If you're holding your rod tip really low, it's going to go really low. If you have your rod tip really high, then it's going to run on the top of the water. That's kind of how you position it wherever you want it. But my favorite is the dark colors. I usually do most of my bass fishing either at night, like the loon, or in the fall, so I have the darker colors for the darker waters and the colder waters. But that is my spinner bait that I carry. And now we're going to go into crankbaits. Now there's two types of crankbaits. You got the fat sided and you got the slim sided. Slim sided are going to be ones like this here. Now, whenever they're nice and thin like that, it's going to have a real tight wobble. If you ever notice, whenever fish are cold, they're going to have that real tight wobble. So that's great for imitation in the colder months. So that one is a nice injured bait fish. You can see it's got the red hooks there. It's got the red on the sides. And that one has caught me quite a few fish. So that's the slim-sided, and then you got the fat body. And this one is actually jointed. So this one is going to have a real long wobble in the water. And it's got a square bill. It's a small bill, so that's going to run anywhere between 3 and 5 feet in the water. And that's going to be more for your summer months. You know, your June, July, August, where fish are really active. They're going to have a real elongated wobble in the water. That's that one. Alright, going from the top to the bottom. So I have my bells that y'all see in most of my videos. Always keep those with me. Usually 2 to 4 I'll keep with me. I got some big sinkers. And I have my leaders that I tie myself. These are for when I'm doing live bait fishing on my big pole. And I'll probably end up making a video on those here shortly. But other than that, I always keep a full section of weights. I've got anywhere between 1 and 3 ounce weights. I keep bobbers. I have other crankbaits. That's another small bill, so another 3 to 5. And I keep a jig here. This is a crawfish jig on a ½ ounce jig head. So it goes right there on the top of the body. And one that I never go fishing without are my DOA shrimp. This is a great all year round color. I've caught anywhere between brim, I've caught bass, I've caught trout on these. Really just good all around type of bait. Other than that, going into my bottom section, I obviously have my eyeglasses because I'm blind as a bat. I've got a 6 compartment hooks, all different ones, trebles, Aberdeen, circle hooks, 1/0, 2/0. I've got another thing of Aberdeen hooks for small little brim. I've got a nice thing of weights, and most of this stuff I just get at Walmart or Academy Sporting Goods. Always keep a nice thing of weights. The more variety you can have, the better. Always, because you know they're my favorite, I keep spare double drop rigs. So I usually carry about 2 in there with me. So looks like I need to restock. Oh, nope. I knew I had a second one with me. He was just hiding. And we'll get to that later. Alright, so next I have my fish bites. I usually use these when I go down to Volano, down in St. Augustine, anytime I'm going to be doing saltwater fishing. This is in the sand flea, easy shrimp. So I usually cut off a little square of this, and I'll either throw a piece of shrimp on and then the fish bite over it, or I'll just fish bite itself. Sorry guys. It releases slowly into the water, and it really puts that scent out there. It attracts fish from further around than just your normal shrimp would. So that's that. I've got bait eggs. These are little salmon eggs. They're in a vanilla flavor. They come by a company called Magic, and these are really cool. Trout trout go for these a lot. So always keep one of those because you never know when I'm gonna be around somewhere. It seems like trout is becoming a little more popular here in Florida. I also have crappie nibbles from Power Bait. These are really good. I've gotten, usually when I go for crappie, I would use minnows, but not all the times can I get to a bait store. So I keep one of these with me, pop them on the hook, and I go to town, and they work just as good. Other than that, always keep a spool of fluorocarbon leader. This is in 15-pound test. The other ones that I usually keep with me, just in case my line breaks or anything like that, I keep my braid if I'm doing bass fishing, which is in 25-pound test from Finn's 40G. Really good stuff. It's in a green color. There you go. Comes in that little green color there. Disappears in the water. It's great. I love it. I use it on every pole that I have on a bait caster. I usually use my braid on bait casters. And then I've got Trilene Big Game on my big pole. That one is when I'm going for sharks or anything like that. Got that in a 30-pound monofilament, and I always keep those three with me. I'll sometimes take the braid out if I'm not going to be bass fishing, but other than that, that's about all I keep. Oh wait, before I end, so these things here, pick these up off of Amazon, and these are the threaders. This is what I use to thread the homemade leaders through the bait fish, and next time I catch something good enough to put on my big pole, I'll make sure to include that in the video. Last but not least, I have a Florida Fish and Wildlife ruler. This thing is amazing. It fits right there on my tackle box, and it goes from 1 inch all the way out to 32, and it gives you every single regulation of the fish that you'd be catching. So if there's a slot, like for the reds, it starts at 18, runs to 24. Gives you the variety of fish by picture. It gives you the limit for the day. All of these are particular for Northwest Florida. So that is a must-have in your tackle box. And I think I picked that up for $8 at a bait store. Alright, so that's everything that I have in my tackle box. Let's take some of these over to the pool, and I'll show y'all how they operate in the water. First, we're going to start with top water. Alright, follow me over here, guys. Alright, so the first one is my favorite, is the Whopper Plopper. Again, this is in the monkey butt. Cast it out. Pull it right down the top of the water. And from the pool, gives a nice presentation and your bait fish. You can hear it. It has a nice plopping in the water. And the fish, the bass will tear that thing up and not like it for some reason. Alright, next one we're going with is the jitterbug. When you cast this one out, let it hit, and you're going to twitch it. There you go. Switches back and forth in the water column. Just like that. The next one is the top water popper. going out. Imitating your bait fish. Those are those three. Hang tight and I'll grab the others. Alright, here's the last three that we have. And the next one that we talked about was our spinner bait. Come a little closer. I'm sure we can get this here. Whenever you cast this out, like I said, if you have a rod tip up high and run on the top of the water, if you have a rod tip nice and low, it's going to run deep into the water. So you can manipulate it in the middle of your cast, and bring low, bring high, bring low. Whatever you want to do, especially if you're around structure, that'd be a great one to use because it imitates that bait fish going up and around all the different structures in the water. Next thing is our thin-sided crankbait. So again, that one's going to have a real tight wobble. Try and get that up on the top of the water for you. See? Nice, real tight wobble. Last but not least is our back side. And this one is in the jointed. This one is going to have a much wider wobble. And that's about it. So that is what I have in my tackle box each and every time I go fishing. The biggest thing when you're fishing, guys, and I've said it in my video before, a busy fisherman is a good fisherman. If you're not catching something, start changing it up. Go from shrimp to squid to crab to fish bites to lures to the crappie nibbles. Anything and everything that you can throw out there, guys, a busy fisherman is a good fisherman. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell notification so you can get notified each and every time I post a new video. I love y'all. Take care, Burleys.